So you are a very successful man and you know something about the economy because while you started off like our son right now is working as a busboy, and you were basically that level when you first entered the workforce, but then went on to chair the Carlyle Group and made a bunch of money on your own, self-made man. Then you funded your own campaign and ran for governor and won in Virginia as a conservative in what I said, as I said, is an increasingly blue state. Can I ask you about what appear to be Kamala Harris's tax plans for Americans? Because this is something that you know a lot about, how to get an economy going, what makes sense, what would make businesses thrive and hire. And what we've heard so far is that she is adopting Joe Biden's most recent proposals. The Wall Street Journal had a report about this yesterday, which would raise taxes, and I mean raise them, on the so-called rich. And rich is anybody making more than $400,000 a year, which means small business owners. The taxes would go up, quote, sharply on some high-income individuals. Some top marginal tax rates would reach the highest point since 1986, saying that the rates would go for individuals up to 44.6%, up to 44.6%, which is just huge. I mean, they're already at 39%, not to mention what would happen on capital gains taxes. So if you make any money in the market, business income, all those taxes are going up. Corporations would face a 28% tax rate, up from 21%. Large corporations would pay 21% minimum tax, up from 15%. And she even wants to tax unrealized capital gains. So money it looks like you made on paper, but you didn't cash in the stock. So you didn't actually make those things on those who have very high net worths. What will this do to the economy if she gets that through?
Well, let me begin that I believe that starting as a busboy is a great place to start. And so I think your son has got a bright future in front of him. I firmly believe that because there's dignity in work. And I think one of the realities in life is that work is not only a good thing, but we need more people working across the Commonwealth of Virginia and across America. And when people are able to keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets, they in fact want to work harder. And on top of that, they spend. And this is at the heart of the misguided tax policy that the liberal left has consistently promoted. I mean, at the end of the day, what they want to do is raise taxes. They just want to raise taxes. They want to raise them on everybody. And let's not be confused. A tax increase on corporations will translate into a tax increase for all Americans when product prices go up. There is a real belief that Kamala Harris will not renew the great tax reform that happened under President Trump's first term in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, and not renewing all of that great tax legislation that facilitated unprecedented economic growth will once again be a broad-based tax increase on all Americans. The reality is that we need to make sure that we're working to be efficient at the government level, to stop the runaway spending, to invest in the most important things, and to allow Virginians and Americans to keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets. You know, Megyn, when I came into Virginia, Virginia was suffering. We were bottom third in the nation in job growth. We were bottom 10 in the nation getting our schools back open. We had seen small businesses closed left, right, and center. And for 9 straight years, we'd seen more Virginians move away than move here from the other 49 states. There was a real challenge. And one of the first things we did was, 1, proclaim that we were open for business, but 2, go to work to provide tax relief. And during our first 2.5 years, we've seen $5 billion of tax relief, and we already have another $3 billion in the works that has been passed that voters will realize. And I want to give them more because the system works. When they can keep more money in their pocket, there's more people who are hired. There's more people that are working. And on top of that, then there's more receipts at the state level, which gives us the ability to reduce taxes again and invest in our most critical topics. I mean, I have to say that we've had record investment in education, record investment in law enforcement, record investment in behavioral health, record investment in cleaning up our streams and rivers and our bays. And we've done all of that with record tax relief because we have record employment. This is a very basic, simple truth that when we have more people engaged in our economy who are keeping more money in their pocket, then the economy grows. And yes, that provides more resources in order to invest. But when we raise taxes, when we take money out of people's pockets, when we penalize companies for doing well, we in fact provide the opposite incentive. And that is what the Biden-Harris administration and Kamala Harris wants to do on a go-forward basis, which is going to be severely damaging to the U.S. economy and to American families.
Yeah, you think about, if a small business owner employs 5 people and he sees his taxes go up by these margins, is he just going to suck it up, or is he going to lay somebody off so that the business continues to be able to pay its bills? I mean, it makes common sense, but she just wants to style it as, we're going to get the evil rich people and we'll protect the working class. If you're under 400,000, you don't have to worry about it. You see, I'll protect you. But that just ignores motivations for corporations and the men and women who lead them.
Well, and I'll repeat that a tax increase is not limited to just those that it's thinking it's raising taxes on. Raising taxes on corporations across America will increase product prices and will drive inflation. It just will. We know that. And when we see Americans, 66% of Americans today already living paycheck to paycheck, when they go to the grocery store and it's a gut punch every time they're trying to feed their families, when they're trying to buy a home, and all of a sudden the prospect of that American dream is so far away from anything they could realize that they abandon hope in living that American dream, we know we have to do something different. In Donald Trump's first administration, we had high growth and low inflation. We had more people lifted out of poverty than ever. We saw more Americans see a pathway to buying a home. Mortgage rates were incredibly low. And today, we see runaway inflation, that silent thief, truly stealing the hard-earned money from so many Virginians and Americans. We've got to get back to economic reality. And the reality is that if we raise taxes on Americans, then we, in fact, are going to damage economic prosperity. If we can continue to pursue policies that understand that it's Americans' money, not the government's, it's Virginians' money, not the government, then we can chart a path forward that will unleash economic prosperity. We've seen it happen under Donald Trump. We've seen the opposite happen under Joe Biden. And this is a very clear comparison of 2 track records, the Kamala Harris track record and the Donald Trump track record. And I'm telling you that given the fact that the economy is the #1 topic in America today, people are going to want the Donald Trump track record.
There's she's been trying her level best to not really show us exactly what the policies are, but this embrace of Biden's tax policy is one of the things we've learned. You've been trying to sound the alarm on some of these things in Virginia and beyond. And one of the things you're doing, there's a lot I want to talk to you about that you're doing in Virginia that is, I think, will be very exciting to a lot of our audience. But one of the things you've just done is try to clean up the Virginia voting rolls, to try to purge them of dead people, right on, and people who are not American citizens, which should not be controversial. But lo and behold, you found a lot of names that needed to go.
Well, there's a basic principle here, which is American elections should be decided by citizens of America. Virginian elections should be decided by citizens of Virginia. And we went to work with the recognition that the motor voter law that was passed decades ago opened up a risk. And whether through purpose or accident, non-citizens are able to register to vote. And unfortunately, it has been left unattended for a while. I'm very, very pleased with Speaker Johnson's efforts to pass legislation to force the proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. But in Virginia, what we did was go grab simple data analytics. And there are lots of data sets from the Social Security Administration to all the data we have about Virginians in the DMV, and use those to cross-reference citizens and non-citizens. And when we did that, what did we find? 6,300 non-citizens who were registered to vote. We took the same practice with regards to Virginians who had sadly passed away or moved away. And last year, we found nearly 80,000 folks on the voter rolls that had sadly passed away, but shouldn't have been on the voter rolls. I issued an executive order a couple of weeks back that codified all of these practices. And in fact, now mandates that on a daily basis, we are scrubbing our voter rolls as we head into early voting in September. This is very straightforward. American elections should be decided by American citizens. The other thing that we really felt strongly about is that the processes of counting votes need to be well understood and trusted. We have paper ballots in Virginia. We have counting machines, no voting machines. We are not connected to the internet. We have great custody practices. I want to make sure that our ballot boxes are secured 24/7. And I also want to make sure that all Virginians know this, and that if non-citizens are voting, that it is in fact a chargeable offense and you'll be arrested. And all of this went through my executive order so that all Virginians can feel confident that they can trust their elections. The bottom line is, as we look forward, I've just encouraged all governors to do the exact same thing. I've been pleased because I've seen a number of states really take similar actions so that we can provide the kind of confidence in this most important election that it deserves.
If you did not vote for this economic downturn, and who did? Well, we know who did. And the high inflation, you might want to do something about it. Right now, you're paying for it at the pump, the grocery store, growing stacks of unpaid bills sitting there. Financial stress can be crushing, and one solution could be donewithdebt.com. Done with Debt created new aggressive strategies designed to get you out of debt permanently without bankruptcy or loans. Done with Debt can stand between you and bill collectors. They negotiate with your creditors to write off balances, cut interest, stop penalties, and the best news is, Done with Debt is accepting new clients right now. But you need to hurry because some of their debt strategies are time sensitive and you don't want to miss out. Let Done with Debt hit the debt reset button for you and make your money yours again. Visit donewithdebt.com or call 1-888-322-1054 now. Chat with one of their relief strategists for free. Donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.